Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time, where we talk to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Big thanks to our partners on board with us here at Cape Rugby TV, Direct Access, your financial services partner, Score Energy Drinks, of course hoping that we'll see the Score 7s roll out later in the year, Thorburn, your events security company, Yes Electrical, and of course Intercape, the official transport providers to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Before I go ahead with the show tonight, let me first wish all of our Muslim viewers a blessed month of Ramadan. Coming up on the show tonight, we'll catch up with DHL Stormers lock, Chris van Zyl. He's of course in isolation, and he'll tell us a little bit more about what he's been up to during these difficult conditions, and a little bit more about what the team is busy doing. We'll also speak to the head coach of the DHL Stormers, John Dobson. Dobbo is very busy at the moment, but we are catching up with him to find out what sort of activities they are busy planning and what they've been busy with as the management team from the DHL Stormers. We'll then reach across to Jerome Pavarotti and check in with him, and then we'll catch up with some of our coaching staff from Western Province Rugby's clubs. We'll speak to Abram Fredericks, he's the chairperson of Noordlikers. Gershon Lades is the chairperson at Strand. We'll speak to Frikkie Kutse, the head coach at NTK, and Wolford Peterson, head coach at Masiphumelele. So we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Let's get the ball rolling first with DHL Stormers lock, Chris van Zyl. Chris, how are things on your side? We believe that you are safe in isolation.
JP, how is it? Good to see you. Things are all good. We managing under the circumstances and staying fit and staying safe as well, which is as important.
So this morning, just before we did a crossing, I quickly did a little bit of a browse on Stormers TV that I see you guys are quite active on still via the digital medium. You guys are still busy with some campaign stuff.
Yeah, JP, I think, that's obviously quite important for us to stay relevant for the sponsors and look after their their product. So for us, it's important to push out content showing that we're keeping ourselves busy, and then also showing our sponsors that we're still doing our best to try and give them worthwhile content to show.
So just give us a little bit of a rundown. Obviously, one has a lot of time. You have a lot of time on your hands. You can play with facial hair and things like that. What are you doing? Because in the video it also said you're running a business.
Yeah, JP. So let's start off with the facial hair. Let's address that. So this is not completely by choice. This is a team initiative to do something during the lockdown. The facial hair challenge. I'm definitely looking forward to shaving it off, but I am a team man first and foremost, so we'll keep it going until Shimmy gives us the go ahead. And then furthermore, JP, Dobbo and them have done put a lot of effort into ensuring that we're quite busy. We've been doing, obviously, strength and conditioning has continued. Jappy and Nico have given us proper programs, which keep us very busy. To ensure that we're ready to go when we get back. And then we've been doing quite a lot of huddle work, which is obviously a lot of review work and preview work of what we think we can better, how we can better our game as individuals and as a team. And then, also trying to still engage with the team in whatever format. So we have a weekly Zoom chat with the team guys in our groups, and we've been having weekly leadership meetings as well. So I think from a Stormers point of view, we've been pretty busy, and I think that's great because it's got to try and keep the guys stimulated and engaged for as long as possible while we, in this uncertain times. And then with that small bit of spare time, I started a accounting firm in 2017, so that's kept me busy when I've got a little extra time. So yeah.
Chris, from a lockdown perspective, you guys have also been reaching out to the public. In fact, we saw your video before, the Johnny Clegg, the crossing video. We saw you guys with that before the lockdown already. But there's been some other messages of support going to the public. Even some of the guys that are far away at the moment are making some sort of outreach.
Yeah, JP, I think that's of most importance. I think if you had to ask me about where the team is, mentally, I think our first concern currently is basically with the well-being of everyone within South Africa. This is bigger than any rugby tournament, any industry. So, the guys are genuinely concerned about the well-being of not only our fans but South Africa, and got involved in a number of initiatives. We're
Yeah.
running this pick and pay food drive. There's a number. Sia Khaleesi doing great stuff with his foundation, and a number of other individuals are doing stuff on their own just to try and make a small difference, which I
Yeah.
think is really special in these dire times.
Chris, I think we're going to leave it at that. We know that you've got a lot of things on your plate there, and we don't want you to be late for any Zoom braais or Zoom team. Any shout outs or any messages for the public and the rest of the club rugby guys out there?
Yeah, I think just to the club rugby guys, I think we're all feeling a bit of uncertainty currently. Um, and that's difficult, I think, from a sporting point of view. But I think most importantly, like I said earlier, this thing's bigger than any industry or any rugby competition. So stay safe and listen to what is needed currently. And then to the general public and our fans, just we're thinking of you all in this time, and we're trying our best as Stormers to make a difference where we can. And please stay safe and look after yourselves. And we'll see you as soon as possible after this pandemic passes.
Well, folks, Chris van Zyl, DHL Stormers lock and a leader in his own right. There's always leading from the front, and it's a real pleasure to speak to Chris. And yeah, the team obviously doing great stuff behind the scenes there, and we look forward to catching up with them. But we will also be catching up with DHL Stormers lock John Dobson. He'll at least not lock head coach of the DHL Stormers, John Dobson, coming up in a while. So stick around. We'll find out more about what the Stormers are up to. Right, folks, welcome back. Cape Rugby TV, we are, of course, reaching out to you during these difficult times and hopefully spreading that message that you need to stay isolated and stay locked behind closed doors, preferably. It is, of course, the safest option. But joining me on the line now is the head coach of the DHL Stormers, John Dobson. These guys have already also been facing their own challenges. Dobbo, nice to have you on the show with us. How are things on your side?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not ideal, but we're fine. We're running. Things are going well with the group. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Dobbo, of course, a lot of changes for you guys. But speaking to Chris as well, you guys were already sort of ahead of the mix a little bit before the lockdown. I mean, you guys have been quite digitally orientated for a while now.
We did a really. We were working on a couple of technologies. We got an AMS thing, which is how they manage the guys' health and well-being. Huddle, which is a sort of technical analyst project. We were trying to reduce meetings, like hour-long meetings before as a sort of coaching thing, and being more individual in terms of training. I think rugby was going through this trend before, whereas before we used to say, oh, the forwards were poor, or the guys couldn't tackle. But it's actually individuals that consist of that. So I think that trend was in before rugby, but it's now being dramatically accelerated by what we're going through. So technology and more individualistic approach, we were sort of advancing in, and then we did a great deal with Virgin to get gym equipment. So we were pretty well prepared. I think we saw it coming by a few days.
Dobbo, I might have my matches mixed up here, but I remember a few years ago, and I think it was the Varsity Cup that I saw, or maybe it was the Vodacom Cup, I can't quite remember, but nevertheless, I saw you doing and it's just coming to mind now, I saw you doing a poem from Shakespeare, St. Crispin's Day, for the guys in the change room. And it talks about the band of brothers. And you obviously have a good understanding of what it means to make a successful team, and that it is about creating that band of brothers connection.
Yeah, the Shakespeare thing is, you did write about it, that he who sheds his blood with me today shall be my brother. And look, it's a bit melodramatic. It probably appeals to me more than some of the lost. I mean, Shakespeare you've got to reread a few times to understand. But I do. that's the whole thing in rugby. I think the technology is the same level now. Guys are training the same methodology, but if they're prepared to get off the ground for each other, something we weren't good at the back end of our last 2 games in Super Rugby, but or the game against the Blues especially. Yeah, it's getting off the ground, getting back into the game. And that's that's where your love for each other is shown. People say it's defense, but it's also just getting off the ground and getting back into line, and that's what really counts. So if you get them to love each other, I think you're prepared to get off the ground.
We spoke to Chris as well about it. We spoke to Salman Murat not so long ago, and to Labib last week, and we speak to Jerome on a regular basis as well. You guys are doing quite a lot of outreach projects. I mean, you're busy with the pick and pay projects. We saw you doing the Johnny Clegg, the crossing. That was obviously before. Behind the scenes, I mean, you're obviously keeping the guys understanding. Well, it does seem like your entire team has got some sort of moral objectives as well.
Yeah, we're sort of divided into 4 categories, one of which was strength and conditioning, self-explanatory, technical, like where we were going right and wrong with our game and the trends in world rugby, the guys' own skills, what they could do at home by themselves. You see someone throwing potatoes or whatever. And then the other element was the sort of social, or humanity, we call it, looking after each other and trying to reach out wherever we can. And I think it's unfortunately, some guys have been really brilliant. Sia and Scurra in particular, a massive Ali from Mark. The guys have been... And also we have to, JP, like you're doing, we have to support our sponsors, because they're not getting a return and seeing our names on jerseys every week on the field. I mean, it's a challenge for everybody across the industry. So anything we can do to help DHL or Six Gun or Pride Rock we're doing. So that element is very important to us. But also I think just building humanity will get more value for them out of this period. Otherwise the frustration levels could get too high. If they know they're doing some good or there's some purpose and meaning, it might be a bit better off for it.
On a sort of a more personal note, are you personally safe at home? Are you able to reach out to family and friends and so on?
Yeah, with my family, they say what is Stockholm syndrome is when you start to like your kidnappers. But I'm fine. I mean, a guy like Chris, you tend to do by himself, so
yeah,
it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, Dobber, we're going to leave it at that. We know that you are, even if ironically under lockdown, you guys seem to be much more busy than you were before. So I know you've got a full schedule ahead today.
Thanks. It's crazy, managing 45 guys and it's one thing in a team at HPC. Now we've got to do them individually. So yeah, it's good for us to keep us busy. Thanks, John.
John Dobson, of course, head coach of the DHL Stormers, and the guys are doing fantastic work there. Also loving their outreach projects at the moment. Folks, do yourself a favor, go and have a look online on YouTube at Stormers TV, and you'll see all the activities the guys are busy with. And if you haven't seen the YouTube crossing, or at least the YouTube video of the crossing that the players did with Johnny Clegg, then go and check that out. Really fantastic. And of course, an old classic where they did it there with friends. Anyway, we cross to you every Wednesday, and of course the show is a little bit different, but we are still catching up with folks and trying to make sense of what all is going out there and what folks are busy with. And of course, joining on the line with me now is Jerome Pavarotti.
Nou JP, het gaan maar nog dieselfde. Ons wag maar nog maar weer vir die president om donderdag vir ons 'n bietjie goeie nuus te gee. So hopelik bietjie verligting.
Is daai nou die soort van die model op die oomblik, julle doen maar die sport goed, maar wag vir die donderdag.
Ja, dit is maar wat ons doen. Ons doen ons dag tot dag goed, maar in ons meetings, ons Skype meetings wat ons het, is dit ook maar elke week, ja, maar ons sal weer opvang en sien wat se verligting kom, wat ons kan doen. So dis maar dag tot dag, ja.
Yeah, Jerome, we just wanted to catch up with you quickly to try and understand a little bit about what it is that that you are up to. It's easy enough for us to make a quick crossing. You don't have to drive into the studio and sit with us. It is a different show, of course, but the last few days for you guys, you're carrying on with the Zoom conferences, catching up with technology and conditioning and all that. Tell us a little bit about the last week's worth of activity.
Yeah, we had on Monday we had the conditioning coach of SA Rugby giving the conditioning coaches a few tips, but then obviously all our coaches or most of the coaches who want to are on the Zoom watching what they're saying, And yesterday we had a nutrition lady from SA Rugby speaking about nutrition, the importance about nutrition and stuff. And as I was saying last week, it's a lot of catching up to do, and it's a lot of quality time that for me as a coach specifically, I speak about myself now, to empower myself in certain areas that you never had time to look. You speak to your conditioning coach and you say to a guy, listen, you're a bit overweight but now you just understand more, especially what the nutrition lady was saying yesterday. You just understand more what the guys must do. So, for example, if a guy's drinking too much or he takes in too much fluid, it's also not good. And what fluid they have to take in, and what is sugary and what is not good for the teeth, what's not good for the health. So basic stuff that you will tell a guy, listen, just go drink water, but you don't know why the guy is drinking water and stuff. So that's
quite a lot of fine tuning then, Look, sounds like, you guys have got a lifetime of rugby knowledge, and you're just polishing it and adding on a little bit more all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And as I say, if you know a day in a coach's life, it's start in the morning and you're busy, and you think that you're on the right path and you're doing the right stuff, and you giving players like you tell them. Sometimes you tell them the wrong stuff, sometimes you tell them the right stuff. But this is just good catching up now to go back in and
tell us, when you're busy on these Zoom conferences, obviously there's lots of people there on that conference at the same time. Are people able to ask questions in some other way?
Yeah, what we do afterwards, after the session, and or like during the session, the guys make notes. And you can actually see on your laptop how they make notes, the questions that they want to ask, and they're not sure about what they were saying. So you can see how there's lots of questions and lots of answering, and it's quite good.
Jerome, we're going to leave it at that. We don't have to drag it out, but it's great to catch up with you and see that you're still isolated and in one piece. And we send our best to all of you guys out there, the family and everybody, and we'll wait for the next announcement.
Yeah, thanks, JP. We'll wait for tomorrow evening.
If it comes, yes. Thanks, Jerome. Right, folks, Jerome Pavarotti, of course, involved there with Club Rugby's High Performance, and of course, great to chat with him, as we always do, just to find out what the guys are up to. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll continue reaching out to our friends of Western Province Club Rugby. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back, folks. It is, of course, Cape Rugby, and we're reaching out to our friends of Western Province Club Rugby. Folks are still trying to stay busy. The clubs out there are still trying to stay busy. On the line with me now is Wolford Peterson. He is, of course, head coach at Masiphumelele. Wolford, we keep asking everybody the same question, but I started off in the same way. How are things on your side?
Things are not too bad, JP. We are doing what we can. It's tough times, especially for a club like Masi. It's a township community club, so that we don't have a lot of resources. Like the guys don't even have internet for me to send them programs. But we've got a WhatsApp group that I'm sending training schedules, and we also have some challenges of club push-ups. And the guys are staying active in a way like that, stay connected. We have some downs, that's what rugby is also about. So we try and stay connected.
No, that's fantastic. We've actually got a few videos that your guys, I'm sure they're going to love seeing themselves on TV. So we're going to have to take a look at that, and then you're going to have to tell us who's in the video. But Wolford, from your side, this would have been your first year for you at Masiphumelele. We know you've been at False Bay, you've had some success at Hamilton's, you were at Jan van Riebeeck High School. You must be disappointed that you can't come out of the starting blocks firing here with Masi just yet.
Yes, JP, it's kind of disappointed, but as a coach, also as a player. I'm seeing it actually from a player's point of view. You got to control the controllable, and a situation like this is not in my control. And like we had our first game at Massey. As a coach, you always look forward to that first game. Our first warm-up game was against Retreat, and it was the first outing after having the boys for like a month. I'm very satisfied with the way things were going. We pumped Retreat 40-12. So there's some good results. I was excited to start this new venture, and it's nice to get to know the players on a playing point of view. But from a coach, I'm excited. There's some.
I've got to ask you, before you got started with this, did you look back at the history of Massey Phumelele? Because there was, at one stage, Massey Phumelele was really at a down, and then they went through, I think together with Warren Edwards, they had a big spike and they were unbeaten for quite a while. Yeah. And then we saw for a long time Massey would be at the top of the log, and then when the challenges started coming, they'd start dropping down a little bit. Have you seen a pattern there? Have you worked it out?
Yes. Rugby, it's more than just what happened on the field. I think management plays a big role, especially a club like Massey. There was some great success with the club where they went up to the C League, but I think they didn't put all the structures into place. Like they had the players, but then there were some problems with the management. And I think this year we actually got it wrong. We've got a nice management group. We've got some nice sponsors on board. So as a coach, for me, it's just to get the players to buy in. And we've got to that stage where we've got players to buy in. We've got a nice sponsor in Boca. So it's a two-way thing. It's not just on the field. I think when Massey was doing things right, when they were going up, when in the top league, I think, as people, you get a little bit big-headed and think that you can do it on your own. And I think there was a miscommunication. But all that, that's ironed out. I'm excited for the new venture at Massey to put the club back onto the top. That league that they're playing in is quite tricky. You play 9 games against weak opposition, and then the top 3 of those 9 games go through to the coastal. All 9 from a coastal, and then the top 3 from there will get promotion into the C League. So you will have like 9 games where it's easy runaway, where you win with like 80 points, and then the last 3 where it's really tough. But we will prepare. Like as a coach, I like to put certain structures into place. It will be nice to build onto not just the first team of the club, but the whole of the club. I think in South African rugby, a lot of clubs are having schoolboys playing, so clubs have under 13, under 15, and under 19, and that is something that Massey don't have. I think that's the way you build culture, where those youngsters see the seniors play on a Saturday, and the seniors kind of become like role models to them, and that will motivate youngsters to play at Massey. So that's all the structures that me and the new management are looking to put into place. It's not going to be easy, but yeah, that's the task at hand. So we're looking forward to put Massey back onto the map.
All right, Wolford. Well, let's take a look here at some of the videos that we've got. You're going to have to guide us through this, but it does look like the guys are quite active. Here's our first one. Can you tell us who's in this video?
That is my hooker, Reginald Fuller. He's all hookers want to be flankers. So I said to him, if you want to play flank, he must lose 5 to 6 kilos, and I think he's busy. We're doing some flexibility. That's Jamal. He was actually a new player at the club, coming from Retreat, fullback wing. Very excited to have him there. You can see like he's running on the spot, working there because he can't leave his yard. He don't want to disobey the rules. And that's Junaid Joseph. I'm lucky to have him. He played at Villages. I think it's his 3rd year at the club. Also a youngster that is willing to go the extra mile, and I'm so fortunate to be able to work with players like this. Junaid is also a personal trainer. Like you can see, he also creates some of his own programs. But yeah, I'm lucky to have a guy like Junaid in my squad. There you can see Junaid create one of my friends, Jonathan Makwena. He's the coach of the Leopards. He said to me, the game is not static. Defenders are not going to wait for you. But I said, yeah, the man is just using his initiative to see how he beat defenders and create little gaps. And this is what Junaid is doing on the field. He's a hard worker, and everything that Junaid is doing, I'm sure it will pay off. And also there's Lionel's flatmate, roommate, Henry, also one of our wings at the club. You see stability work, resistant work, make sure that the hamstrings are ready and fire for when we get out of the corona to take them to hit the field. They're busy with a bit of a handling drill, also with a bit of fitness, side to side mobility work, and that's what we must do now.
It certainly looks like the guys are staying active, finding creative ways to do it as well.
Yeah, they're doing all the functional training. You know, JP, I'm old school. I'm from the Northern Cape, Carnarvon. I'm a Plaas boykie. So I believe in the old school style where you don't need a gym. I made it. I played for Western Province and I didn't have a gym. So it's possible. Everything is possible when you put your mind to it. The body will push you the right direction.
Wolford, we're going to leave it at that. Hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon. Thanks. Right, folks. Of course, Wolford Peterson there reaching out to us, and what a fantastic conversation there with Wolford. He's so full of energy. It's exactly what we need. He's staying motivated. I would have loved to see Masi Phumelele in action in this year, and it certainly looks like the guys were ready for 2020. Hopefully we'll get back on the park soon. We have to see what happens. Lots of announcements. Of course, right now it's absolute priority that everybody stays under lockdown, stays isolated, and of course follows all of the various health and safety precautions. Folks, when we come back, we've still got a number of interviews. We're looking forward to catching up with Frikkie Coetzee. He's of course head coach at NNK, and we'll speak to Abram Fredericks. Abram's out at Noordlikers in Elsies, and the guys there are busy with some incredible outreach projects helping feed the kids in the area. And Abram has always been a stalwart in leading in the community. We'll see you after the break. Right, welcome back, folks. As you know, Cape Rugby TV every Wednesday night, 9 to 10. We haven't stopped, as has most of the clubs out there's activities with their players, trying to make sure that sport continues in some shape or form, but of course doing it from home, staying under the lockdown conditions, staying isolated and complying with the government requirements, the health and safety requirements. Right, folks, joining me on the line now is Frikkie Coetzee. Frikkie's of course the head coach at NNK, or NTK as he's just reminded me. Frikkie, hoe lyk dinge aan julle kant?
Nee, het gaan heel right. Dit is maar moeilike tye soos ek gesê het, lockdown, so ons hoop maar dat dit een of ander tyd gaan einde kry, maar ja, toetsende tye, niets vir almal. Ek dink jy almal hoop maar almal koop in wat die regering wil hê ons moet doen en voorwaardes sodat ons so gou as moontlik uit hierdie lockdown kan kom.
Ja, ons lyn is bietjie stop-start hier so Frikkie, maar vertel ons bietjie, is julle darm ten minste in kontak met die spelers?
Ja, nie op gereelde basis in kontak met die spelers, ons probeer maar vind hoe dit met hulle gaan en seker maak spelers as baie van hulle wat kan find is in 'n woonstel of so dit is maar dis moeilike tye en vir die groot aanpassing vir die spelers, vir die mense, so so ons probeer maar seker maak dat die spelers okay is en hulle aangaan oefen. Dit is maar ook moeilik.
Ons verloor jou so 'n bietjie hier en daar, Frikkie, maar vertel ons bietjie, julle was natuurlik redelik lus vir die, soos al die clubs, so julle was natuurlik lus vir die season en nog 'n season in Superliga A.
Ja, ons het laas jaar so baie wat kroekes gemaak, so ons het baie beplanning gedoen en voorbereiding gedoen vir die seisoen. Ons seker te maak ons behou die spelers wat ons gehad het en ook 'n paar nuus by te kry. Op hierdie stadium is al daai werk is maar nou die pre-season wat ons ouens hard geoefen het, hard gewerk het in pre-season, is nou so half down the drain, so ek dink as ou nou wil begin, gaan jy van basis van scratch af moet oor begin met 'n pre-season. As daar enige geleentheid is dat ons seisoen gaan hê. Wat op hierdie stadium maar klein lyk. So
Maar luister Frikkie, ek dink die belangrike ding is ons is so in kontak met julle, sodat die ten minste ons kan weet dat NTK nog in die gang is, die spelers is daar, of het nou games is of nie, ons weet dat julle aktief is en dat julle veilig is en of het nou hierdie week is of die weke wat kom, die klub bly aangaan. Soos ek sê, miskien is nie games nie, maar julle is nog steeds 'n klub.
Ja, nee, verseker. Dit is belangrik dat ons maar seker maak ons spelers en administrateurs en coaches en almal is okay en dat dat ons hopelik na die lockdown sal kan aangaan met die seisoen of kan voorberei vir volgende seisoen ten minste. Ek dink baie ouens gaan ons solisties vir rugby ons seker definitief al Oktober, November al begin met 'n pre-season.
Ja, Frikkie, ons los hom daarso. Hopelik kan ons weer met julle catch-up speel en van ons kant af sê natuurlik vir die spelers en vir almal daarso by die management van NTK, ons sê ons stuur ons beste en dat julle maar veilig moet bly in isolation, né?
Baie dankie.
Right, folks, a little bit tricky there with the communication, but great to see that the clubs remain active. Frikkie Coetzee, of course, their head coach of NTK, and still, like all the other clubs, staying in touch with their members and making sure that their members remain active. Everybody at the moment is hoping that the curve gets flattened and that the infections on the coronavirus gets reduced so that we hopefully will see some level of club rugby activity again this year. But all of that still up in the air, all of that still needs to be announced. And for those of you that are not aware, there are many people out there right now that are, of course, reaching out to the various communities. And of course, none so more than Abraham Fredericks. I have to say it in Afrikaans. I don't say it so well in English. Abraham Fredericks is, of course, the president of Noordelijkers Rugby Club. Been around in the world of Western Province Club Rugby for, well, forever. Abraham joins me now on the line from Elsie's side. Hoe gaan dinge aan julle kant, Abraham?
Ag, JP, nee, het gaan goed. Ons maar moet onder die epidemie wat ons vasgevang het.
Abraham, vertel ons 'n bietjie wat is julle wat maak julle spelers op die oomblik? Reik julle uit na die spelers? Bly hulle aktief?
Ja, JP, die man is aktief, die man oefen by die huis. Ons gebruik die WhatsApp. Video's uit te stuur en boodskappe uit te stuur en die afrigter bly in kontak met hulle, ja, elke dag.
Abraham, julle het ook dit lyk my julle was ook reg vir die seisoen vir 2020. En julle het nog al 'n paar goeie friendlies gehad en ook 'n paar teambuilding trips wat julle gedoen het.
Ja, JP, ons was in Noord-Kaap, in Kakamas, waar ons weer eens die Kalahari Sevens gewen het, ja. Voor die tweede keer agter mekaar, ja. Dit was 'n positiewe ding vir die klub. En die bestuur het ook besluit dat ons die klub se deure gaan sluit nie. Dus maar die manne wil speel. En toe kom ons terug, toe ons vasgevang in die epidemie.
Ja, moeilike tye vir almal, maar julle ouens bly die spelers aan positief?
Ja, nee, JP, die manne is regtig positief. Die mense sê die manne oefen by die huis of in hulle huise om in hulle jare te en die manne is besig.
Abraham, die ander ding wat julle besig is om te doen, julle is natuurlik besig met gemeenskapprojekte daarso, jouself en Lillian, daarso in die Elsie's gebied. Julle is nogal aktief met die sokkombuise en so. Vertel ons 'n bietjie van daai.
Ja, JP, soos gesê, ons doen nie sokkombuise van nou by die epidemie, ons doen dit al vir 20 jaar, JP, 30 jaar die klub bestaan het. En ons is net 'n bietjie dankbaar vir ons burgers soos Piekom by Yusuf Martin, Faisalveld en ja, die manne wat iets bydra en dan kan ons dit oordra aan die gemeenskap. Dus jy kan sien daar word soppe gedeel en as van die bestuurlede wat ook betrokke is by hierdie projek, ja, om honde te voed. En ons hoop as daar meer borgers bykom, kan ons meer doen. Dus jy kan sien daar is meneer William Polis met sy hemper, wat die klub uitgedies het en ja, dit is maar 'n klein bydrae wat die klub kan doen aan sy spelers.
Julle doen 'n fantastiese job daar, so jouself en Lillian. Ek was alself daar by Belvini. En dis regtig uitstekend wat julle doen om die gemeenskap te support. Vertel ons 'n bietjie van daai, jy sê julle gaan al lank aan met daai, gaan julle nog van daai doen oor die volgende paar weke? Hou dit so aan, doen julle meer gedurende die lockdown of hoe werk dit?
Ja, JP, ons is besig vandag ook een. nog om kosten te delen dag voor dag voor de gemeenschap. Ja, zo'n dag, en de volgende week. Ja, zo goed inkrijgen en dan wordt het opgediend en wordt uitgegeven aan de gemeenschap. En de gemeenschap wordt aan ons en ons geeft terug aan hulle. En hulle komen ons steen voor zo'n speel, zo bootwijs.
Abraham, ons gaan het daar zo los. Luister, dankie dat ons met jou kon gesels het nou. Ek weet ons moet hier so deur die data en dinge connect, maar vir jouself en Lillian en al die spelers daar so buite, baie dankie vir julle bydrae, die support wat julle aanhoudend vir almal doen. Ons waardeer dit en die mense daar buite waardeer dit baie en ons kan net vir julle sê baie dankie en ons dink aan julle.
Dankie JP, thanks.
Right folks, there Abraham Fredericks is of course the president at Noordlikes Rugby Club, or Northerns Noordlikes. And doing some incredible work, has been doing some incredible work for a very long time, and really from the Cape Rugby perspective and the fans out there, I'm sure all our gratitude is extended for the fantastic work that they are doing to support the local community. But Noordlikes is reaching out, as well as a number of other clubs also reaching out. We know we took a look at what St George's were doing last week, and we've got a video in from St George's as well, and we'll share that with you in a second. But Belhar Rugby Club. Belhar has been very active, and Belhar is currently also busy with some campaign in the community, feeding, and managed to send in a little video for us to take a look at. You'll of course remember that Ibrahim Beerkes was on the show with us a fortnight ago, and Ibrahim sent this video of what the players and the club is busy with in terms of supporting the community. Right folks, time for us now to cross to Faisal Felton, Western Province Rugby. Of course, Faisal's on our show on a regular basis. It's locked down though, and we're going to reach out to him now on his side of the world and just check how things are going with him. Faisal, before we begin, of course, can I just say to you that I trust and hope that you are going to have a blessed month of Ramadan.
Yeah, no, thank you, JP. Under such circumstances and that there, yeah, but it's always good, you know, at this time of the year and that there. So thanks a lot.
Faisal, still tricky for us working out all these digital components and making sure that we can cross to you guys under these sort of strange conditions, but we seem to be getting there, and it seems like certainly Western Province Rugby is embracing this model of online communication, online education. Are you guys still carrying on with that?
No, definitely, JP. I think we had a discussion now in the week. We had a staff meeting, and I think from our side, we're really embracing it. Well, I think we're forced to embrace it, but I think it's definitely something that we've caught on to, and I think it's also made us realize going forward that after this lockdown, you know, this is a way of communicating. We don't necessarily have to have people in the office to have a meeting. So I think it's made us a lot more productive. It's definitely something that going forward will, you know, definitely add a lot more value to in terms of what we do and how we do things.
Yeah, we did an interview earlier on with Chris van Sale and then with John Dobson, and then we also caught up with Jerome Pavarotti, and Jerome, all three of them were saying how much more they're busy getting done Jerome specifically was saying that he's been coaching rugby most of his life, but now he's finding all this extra new information that he's able to add on, and it's sort of like polishing at the moment, polishing what you guys already know.
No, definitely. I think this time has taught us, in terms of how we manage our times and what we're doing. I think there's a lot more time during the day to get a lot of things done. As Jerome mentions, I mean, normally, Jerome would come through to the office. We have our meetings and that. I think going forward, the suggestion is that, we do a lot more meetings now via, Skype and Team and that there. So we're able to do it in lockdown. I think once it's lifted, the idea is that, we continue and embrace what we've done. So, I think that's one of the key advantages in that.
Faisal, you're obviously very closely connected with the club structures. You have been for many years. You understand the fibre of club rugby very well, having been involved in it at all levels, from the lowest level to the highest level for many years now. And over the years, you and I have both been involved in a number of outreach projects where we've seen the clubs firsthand contributing in their community and of course to their members as well. We're seeing a lot of activity at the moment from clubs reaching out to their members.
No, definitely, JP. I think that's what club rugby is about, and I think that's what drew me to terms to run club rugby, to involve with club rugby. It's a passion that the guys have within the communities. And I must say, over the years I've learned, if you're calling on the clubs for anything and the communities, everybody's there, everybody's willing to assist. I've seen a number of initiatives that a lot of the clubs have done. That's what club rugby is about. It's not just playing the game. It's about being actively involved in the community and putting a hand in the community and assisting where we can. I think that ultimately is key, in terms of what club rugby is about.
I mean, just today alone, we've got Abraham Fredericks at Noordlikers. We've showed a few photographs there from his soup kitchens that him and Lillian have been doing. And I know you and I have been out to Belvini Primary, for example. We got a video in from Belhar where they're also busy feeding in the community. St. George's reached out with a 4-minute video where they are sharing some information. Are you in touch with the clubs? Are they telling you what they're busy doing?
Yes, no, JP, definitely. A lot of the guys are keeping in contact. I think in this time, it's like, we can help our neighbors, help our people, and that there we can assist and help in the communities and that. And I think that's where the club, Abraham, Vineyards, St. George's, all these Belhar, all these clubs that come on board, so I think from our side, this is what, in this time that we encourage, in terms of assisting and helping within our communities. I think when you look at communities, it's about the players that come from the area, the families especially, looking at LCs, looking at those teams and that. It's assisting and helping not just our players, also the families and the community within.
Yeah. Faisal, just then on a final note, there have been no announcements about rugby activity. We saw that there was a vague message about school rugby, which was not sent out by Western Province Rugby. If I understand correctly, there is no, everybody is waiting for further information at a later stage, and there have been no formal announcements yet.
No, nothing from our side, JP. Everything is still, we're waiting, is dependent on lockdown. We're waiting for the direction in terms of, what the president has indicated. But I think from SARU's side, Western Province's side, we're looking at the various levels, and we're also, looking in terms of, looking at should we go back? This is the policies. This is what needs to be in place. But currently, as it stands, there's nothing formally in terms of when we go back. We're governed by the lockdown.
100%. It's good for us to get that sort of clarity so that there's no uncertainties out there about this. We all wait for more information. Faisal, we'll leave it at that. Trust that you stay safe and stay isolated on that side. And yes, again, blessings for the month of Ramadan.
No, thank you, JP, and to everybody out there. Stay safe, stay at home. Like I said, we will get through this. Let us just all work together in that. Thanks, JP. Thanks everybody.
Faisal Felton, folks joining us there from isolation, and good to catch up with him and also understand what the official word is then at the moment. And of course, as Faisal said, everybody's waiting. There are no formal announcements as yet. Folks, that is a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. It's been fantastic to have you along. Again, we're crossing to you under different and difficult conditions, but we're reaching out to our friends via the digital medium. We'll keep you connected, we'll keep you involved, and hopefully that'll help you stay engaged. We're going to leave you now with this little video from St. George's Rugby Football Club. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, all club members, family and friends, players. Today, Maroon Saturday, lockdown, Maroon Saturday, we'll keep it a bit different. Today we're going to light the candle for various different reasons. We firstly give thanks and praise to our Heavenly Father for protecting and guiding and looking after us. We give thanks to our President Cyril Ramaphosa for good decision making, taking good care of all South Africans and putting the needs of others first. We want to send blessings out to all our Muslim family, friends, members, rugby community through the month of Ramadan. May you have a very, very blessed month. I want to ask all of you to keep the candle burning of faith, hope, love, appreciation, and all that's good. Lulu love, Lulu liefde, always.
A good day, goeie dag. Moweni Mzansi, my Lulu family. As I'm dressed in my maroon attire today, I would just like to light a candle. This is to say thank you to all essential and frontline workers for playing a crucial role in this challenging time, putting your lives at risk to save us from this pandemic.
Light a candle for those who lost their lives around the world due to COVID-19 and the others who passed on in these challenging times.
Good evening, Lulu family. I light this candle in protest of gender-based violence. Please stop the abuse of women and children.
Morning Western Cape, morning St. George's. All the Muslim brothers and sisters, this is a very important month for you. By sacrificing as the fast kicks in, may Allah grant you mercy, blessings and strength to do this month. And as St. George's, as a family, we will support you wherever we can. And also to the fellow players outside, indoor in the lockdown, the system of South Africa, which we have to obey and respect. So please guys, obey the rules, keep your distance, keep your mask on, keep your gloves on, stay indoors please. Guys, it is important for us to stay safe as a family. If the lockdown is finished, COVID-19 is at ease, we will show each other, but don't let us get reckless in doing foolish things. Let's respect the lockdown and let's respect our community. And please guys, wherever we can make a difference in the community, let us do so. There's lots of kids and lots of older people that is hungry, and if you know that you have something extra, please do so and do good in the community. May God bless you, and may you have a good Saturday and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you.
Goeiemôre Suid-Afrika, goeiemôre my Lulu familie. Ek wil vir julle vandag net met 'n inspirerende boodskapie los gedurende hierdie COVID-19 epidemiek. Ek wil vir julle graag aanmoedig en ek hoop julle vind dit bemoedigend met hierdie boodskap wat ek julle vanoggend gaan met los. Ek wil julle graag bemoedig om net julle hande gereeld te was. Dit is baie belangrik om altyd te sanitize, al doen jy wat. Ek wil vir julle bemoedig om altyd ten alle tye sanitize gereeld. Dit is belangrik, draai julle maskers in die winkels as julle uitkom. Dit is baie belangrik mense. En ek wil vir julle los met die laastes, bly veilig, kyk na die medemense buite, Ons almal is hier bevoorreg om elke aand iets te eet om in te gaan slapen. En ons kyk na mekaar familie, Lulu familie, spesifiek, ek praat met julle almal. Ek wil graag sê, ek hoop dit vat en vat by julle harte. Dankie. Goeiedag.
We at St. George's Rugby Club pray that our Father guides us through to a safe and speedy recovery in this crucial period. We urge all South Africans to assist to make sure that no one goes to bed without a meal on the table. Sicela nincede, nicela nihlale endlini, ningaphumi, nimamele upresidente. Izasinceda lento. Sifuna uyifayita, sifuna uphinda sidlale irugby, sibuye sibe Lulu boys. So nicela nihlale endlini.
As St. George's family, this is your girl Salwa here, the manageress of the under-20 team at St. George's. First and foremost, I would like to wish all my Muslim players, spectators, managers and coaches a Ramadan Mubarak. Don't forget to stay home, stay safe and stay positive.